Hi everyone, and welcome. We talked about how reading stories is the best way to learn reading skills while entertaining ourselves. Today we're going to dive a bit deeper into a short story that explores this idea. Our main goals are to understand the story better by looking at some key vocabulary and making some smart guesses or predictions. Before we even start reading the whole thing, this will really help us connect with the story. Now, before we jump into any stories, it's good to have a good idea about the whole premise and take a look at some new words that might be important. Let's look at a couple from the story we'll be reading today. Let's say The Lost Compass. Our first word is treacherous. Treacherous. I know pronunciation is a bit weird, and my accent isn't helping, but treacherous. Treacherous. This word describes something that is very dangerous and has hidden risks. Like the mountain path was treacherous, or the treacherous bandit didn't help us and attacked us, or whatever. Now, can you repeat the word treacherous? Good. Another important word might be determined. Determined. If you are determined, it means you have made a firm decision to do something and you won't let anything stop you. For example, she was determined to finish the race, even though it was difficult. Can you say determined? Excellent. So, knowing these words like treacherous and determined will help us understand the feelings and the situation in our story better. Now let's dive into The Lost Compass. Okay, now for another really useful pre-reading skill, making predictions. This is like being a detective, like how you watch a movie and say, oh, that guy is going to die, he's so dead. It's obvious that the hero is going to win, and things like that. Making predictions, especially when you're reading, might be really helpful and is actually one of the more fun things to do, and I think that really puts a big difference between reading and watching a movie or reading a book that the movie was made from it. Now let's look at our story title again. The Lost Compass. Based on the title, what do you think this story could be about? Maybe it's about someone who lost their compass. Or perhaps someone loses a very important tool for finding their way. Their phone. Or their map. Or again, their phone. I'm going to make a prediction. Prediction 1. I predict this story is about an explorer of some sort who loses their compass while on a dangerous journey. Now, if we also had a picture from the story, imagine a picture of someone looking worried in a dense forest, if you will. That could give us some more clues. With that picture, I might also predict that the character will face some scary animal or a scary situation. Making predictions like this gets our brain ready for the story. Honestly, if you don't have any questions, then all the time I or any teacher spends on giving you the answers and teaching you the answers is just mute. That doesn't work at all. Like, you need to have questions and have those questions answered. Otherwise, there's no point to learning at all. You're just sitting there and you're wasting your time. So, try to make predictions about your studies and try to come up with questions about it. And when the professor asks you, do you have any questions, even if it's a silly question, just ask it. It helps. Now, so we looked at some key vocabulary like treacherous and determined. And we've made some predictions about our story. The Lost Compass. Ooh. These pre-reading activities are super helpful because they prepare us to understand and enjoy the story much more. Are you ready to see if our predictions are right and find out what happens? Great. In the next part of our lesson, you're actually going to read The Lost Compass. As you read, I want you to think about the characters, where the story is happening, and the main events. We'll have a graphic organizer to help you keep track of those details. Or, in other words, you're just going to use some AI and Google Sheets or something. Excellent. So remember, before you dive into any reading, take a moment to look for clues. Think about tricky words and make some predictions. It makes a big difference. Well done. And I'm excited to see what you will discover in The Lost Compass, the story.